over 180 people have died and nearly 2,000 have been injured in intense fighting in Sudan. Two of the country's top generals are battling for power over the resource-rich nation. NTD's Jason Perry breaks down the situation.
Come fast. We tried to cross to our place. They started raising the gun, then we ran away. See, army is there.
Sudan residents even saw a fighter jet flying over the capital, Khartoum, which appeared to fire a missile at the airport. On Saturday, two of the country's top generals began fighting for control over the resource-rich nation. One of the generals, who is also the country's leader, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, is using the Sudanese military to fight a rebel paramilitary group within the country. That rebel group, led by General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, is known as Rapid Support Forces, or RSF. It reportedly has about 100,000 troops throughout the country. In December, the two generals signed an agreement to establish a civilian-led transitional government, which would take away some power from both generals. But before the transition took place, fighting broke out between the two groups. So far, over 180 civilians have died and over 1,800 civilians have been injured. I spoke with geopolitical analyst and the president of Scarab Rising, Iryna Cukierman, to learn more about the situation. Do you think it's a good idea for the RSF and the military to be under civilian control?
I mean, that would be the ideal scenario because the country needs an economic and political transition into some sort of stability and normalcy. Having two power-hungry warlords struggling for power or controlling all the private resources in the country, this is not doable.
And she explained that tensions in Sudan were high for weeks before the fighting started.
This last few weeks of build-up should have sent a signal to the international community that fighting could break out, but there was no serious mediation attempt. The White House and others have been caught by surprise on Saturday when the fighting broke out, and nobody even knows for sure who really started the fighting in this case.
On Monday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken called for an immediate ceasefire.
People in Sudan want the military back in the barracks. They want democracy. They want a civilian-led government. Sudan needs to return to that path.
Jason Perry, NTD News.